We just had the 10th anniversary of Monty Cook Games, as well as the Kickstarter of some pretty awesome looking titles. One of which, The Old Gods of Appalachia. Let's just say I'm more than a little upset I couldn't back it because I was too poor at the time due to vet bills. But as I sit down and do a series on various Cypher books, I'm sure that one will come up eventually as well. Anywho, for those that haven't heard, Monty Cook Games has announced the Cypher System Open License that will be available for the public somewhere in the summer of 2022. I'll probably replace this video with a more in-depth video once the specifics of the license are available so that you have an easy reference for the limits of the license without actually having to, read it. The do's and don'ts, if you will. But let's go over what we do know as well as how that compares to other similar licenses. So far, Monty Cook Games has said that the license is open for pretty much all of the base content in the core rulebook, types, descriptors, foci, etc. This allows publishers to directly reference rules options in their own products so they can safely build upon the Cypher system as a foundation without worrying as much about having to reinvent base parts of the game just to get around copyright issues to publish their own books. Monty Cook Games has previously had a more limited creator license to publish things through DriveThruRPG. To be frank, Monty Cook Games in general has been pretty open and good about content creators. This just opens the floodgates for creators to do more with their own products and publish them, likely without having to go through approval processes and such like they have with the more limited licenses from before. So what's the big deal? Especially if you're not a content creator, why would you even care? Well, you should, because an open license in the main content can only be a good thing for us. For those that have been playing RPGs for a long time, you'll remember what the open gaming license did for Wizards of the Coast. I actually think personally that the OGL is part of the reason that 3rd edition D&D helped revitalize that department of Wizards of the Coast. Because before that, with 2nd edition, both with Wizards and then with TSR, the original company, you may not know this, but Dungeons & Dragons was kind of dying. If you went to a convention in the 90s and mentioned your group still primarily played D&D, you'd get a laugh, and people would ask, "You're still playing that? Why don't you play one of the other systems?" But then 3rd edition and the Open Gaming License were launched. The Open Gaming License meant that not only was Wizards publishing official content for the system, but third-party developers were able to make their own as well, including a little developer known as Paizo, aka the creators of Pathfinder, which also run off of the OGL. But wasn't the Open Gaming License a bad thing? I mean, it must have hurt Wizards of the Coast financially if people liked the third-party stuff better. Actually, it shows just the opposite. Wizards still pumped out really good products, and people will generally gravitate towards wanting to purchase the content from the base, quote-unquote, official source of the system and settings. But now Wizards kind of had help. The third-party developers meant that the interest of the game could grow, because you didn't just have one company trying to come out with content for the game, but a whole legion of them. Okay, maybe you're younger and this doesn't seem familiar to you, or you're just completely lost about what open licenses are and you just don't know where to go from here. Let's try to put this into terms maybe a little more relatable, although not exactly the same thing. Think of it sort of like this. Minecraft. Would Minecraft have been as long-lived of a prevalent game if it had not been easily moddable to the open community, with permissions to do things like make other launchers, mod packs, and all sorts of Minecraft-related things? By opening the game for other developers to do stuff with it, Minecraft went from what probably would have been a little flash-in-the-pan nothing game to the powerhouse that has gone on strongly for over a decade. It's not exactly the same thing. This is more about opening up publishing rights to use Cypher as its base, but hopefully it gets you in the right mindset at least if you're really lost about what I'm talking about and need to be excited about something. We still have yet to get the specific verbiage of the open license, but assuming it says what I think it says, there's one more exciting thing I hope happens as well. As many of you know, I'm a big fan of Foundry Virtual Tabletop. I have a complete setup for Cypher already plugged in there, a setup that I cannot currently share because of the way the licensing works. If the open license works the way I hope it does, although I probably can't share the entire setup because it involves more than just the core rules, I could share the Foundry content for the core rulebook stuff. This means simple drag and drop types, foci, descriptors, character arcs, ciphers, etc., along with roll tables, rule journal entries, and all sorts of things. Basically everything you'd need to get started with the Cypher system in Foundry Virtual Tabletop. At least the core rules stuff. But do not quote me on this. I haven't seen the wording of the licensing yet. It's not out for the public. But if that is something I can do, I will make it freely available. Maybe I'll ask the guys in the Cypher Unlimited Discord if I can have like a pinned link for it or something. That way, if you're looking for a real easy way to play Cypher, at least with the core rules, you'll be able to just hop into Foundry and Giver. I just want to do this because I really like Cypher and I really want to see the game grow. If we can have easier ways to play it, I would support that 1000%. Now, that's about all we directly know about the open license itself. There is, however, one more point that I should bring up, and that's about some of the announced games in that Monty Cook Games post. Blood and Chrome I was already familiar with. We've been using their content in our Cyberpunk game that we've been playing. Honestly, it's pretty good shit. You should really check it out. All of the books are currently available in DriveThruRPG, but it looks like there may be some more stuff coming out, so you're going to want to pay attention to that as well. I don't know much about Mystery Flesh Pit National Park RPG, but just by the name and the pictures they showed, the little like teaser and stuff, it looks pretty bloody unique, and I think it looks kind of neat. I will definitely check it out when I get the chance. I am very excited about the GM Roulette. If you check out the Cypher Unlimited YouTube page, you'll see that they have a GM Roulette series on there already, although I'm sure the rules are quite a bit different now. Think of that as more like an alpha test. You can see them actually play through the base concepts right on their channel. I think it's a great way to run one-shots or short-run playthroughs if you don't really have a specific concept in mind that you want to do. Really keeps you on your toes. So we're going to want to check that out as soon as we can. There we have it, the Cypher System Open License, or CSOL. Not the greatest name, but whether you realize you should be excited for it or not, I hope you're excited now, because this means an even greater explosion of high-quality publisher content for Cypher, and very likely a great advance for the popularity of the Cypher system. Hell, I've got something I've been tinkering with myself, and this just made my life 10 times easier. I still have a lot of work to do, and have yet to see how the open license works. But a little teaser for you guys. Welcome to the gritty near-future sci-fi setting of Lonely Gray. Have a good one, eh?